It was just another ordinary evening at a small, cozy diner. The clinking of plates, soft chatter, and the hum of a coffee machine filled the air. Among the bustling crowd, a waitress moved quickly between tables, her worn apron and tired eyes reflecting a long day's work. But tonight was different. Sitting in the corner of the diner was someone she never expected to see: Elon Musk. Yes, the billionaire himself, quietly sipping coffee and lost in thought. The waitress, clutching a folded note in her trembling hands, hesitated for a moment. Should she go through with it? Her heart raced as she slid the note onto his table, tucked beneath the check. Elon picked it up, unfolding the paper, his expression shifting from calm to stunned as he read the words inside. What could she have written that left Elon Musk speechless? What happened next is a story you won't forget. Stay tuned to uncover the incredible events that followed one simple note. Emma was a young woman with a kind heart and a spirit that refused to give up, even under the weight of life's struggles. She worked tirelessly, juggling two demanding jobs just to keep her family afloat. Every penny she earned went toward her mother's medical bills, leaving little for herself. Despite her exhaustion, Emma always greeted her customers with a warm smile, hiding the storm brewing in her personal life. On this particular evening, her shift felt heavier than usual. As she wiped down tables, the door opened, and in walked someone who seemed oddly out of place: Elon Musk. He wore a weary expression, the kind of look that only comes after countless meetings and endless decisions. Exhausted but needing a moment to unwind, he quietly took a seat in the corner of the diner, hoping to enjoy a simple meal without drawing attention. Two lives, worlds apart, had unknowingly entered the same space. Emma, the hardworking waitress struggling to keep her family together, and Elon Musk, the billionaire visionary carrying the weight of his ambitions. Little did they know, their paths were about to intersect in a way no one could have predicted, setting into motion a series of events that would change everything. As Emma bustled through the diner, her eyes fell on the man sitting quietly in the corner booth. She recognized him instantly. Elon Musk, the billionaire everyone seemed to know, the man behind Tesla and SpaceX. Her heart skipped a beat. What was he doing here, in this small, ordinary diner? For a moment she froze, her mind racing. Tucked in her apron pocket was a note she had written during a quiet moment earlier in the evening. It wasn't for her. It was for her mother, who desperately needed medical treatment they couldn't afford. The note wasn't just words. It was a plea for hope, a gamble she never thought she'd have the courage to make. Emma hesitated, fear creeping in. What if he thought she was out of line? What if he dismissed it without a second thought? But then she glanced at the clock on the wall, reminded of how little time her mother had. Taking a deep breath, she grabbed the check, slipped the folded note underneath, and walked toward Elon's table. With trembling hands, she set the check down in front of him and whispered softly, "Thank you for visiting." Before he could respond, she turned and walked away, her heart pounding. Elon noticed her nervousness, his curiosity piqued. Picking up the check, he unfolded the note. His eyes scanned the handwritten words, and his expression shifted. Something in the note struck a chord, and for a moment, he just sat there, staring at the paper. Whatever he had read, it had already begun to change everything. Elon sat at the corner table, absent-mindedly picking up the folded note that had come with his check. At first, it seemed like an ordinary piece of paper, but as he unfolded it, his neutral expression began to change. His brow furrowed, his eyes scanning the carefully written words. The note started with a simple introduction. "My name is Emma, and I'm the waitress who served you tonight." It went on to describe her situation. A young woman trying to care for her sick mother, working two jobs just to make ends meet. The words were raw, vulnerable, and full of quiet desperation. Then came the line that made Elon pause. "I know you probably get this a lot, but I didn't know where else to turn. I admire everything you've done to change the world, and I thought, maybe you'd understand. Elon's eyes lingered on those last words, and he leaned back slightly, the weight of the note settling over him. He looked up, scanning the diner, searching for the waitress who had written such a heartfelt plea. For a moment, the room seemed quieter, the bustling noise of the diner fading into the background. Elon's gaze locked onto Emma, who was nervously wiping down a table, avoiding his eyes. He folded the note carefully, his mind racing with thoughts, and for the first time that night, his exhaustion gave way to something else. Resolve. Elon rose from his seat, the folded note still in his hand, and made his way to the counter where Emma was busy wiping down glasses, her hands trembling slightly. She felt his presence before she looked up, and when her eyes met his, her heart sank. "You wrote this?" he asked, holding up the note. His tone wasn't harsh, but it carried enough weight to make her stomach twist. Emma hesitated, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yes, I did." She glanced down, unable to meet his piercing gaze for long. "I didn't mean to bother you. I just didn't know what else to do." For a moment, the silence felt deafening. Emma's vulnerability hung in the air as she explained her situation. The mounting medical bills, her mother's deteriorating health, and the overwhelming weight of trying to hold everything together. Her voice cracked as she added, "I've tried everything, but nothing seems to work." Elon listened intently, his face unreadable. He didn't interrupt or offer immediate reassurance, which only heightened Emma's anxiety. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he looked her directly in the eyes and said, "I need to make a call." Emma blinked, unsure of what he meant. She watched as Elon pulled out his phone, his fingers flying over the screen. The diners, noticing the interaction, fell quiet, their curious eyes darting between Emma and Elon. Elon stepped outside the diner, phone in hand, his expression focused and intense. The quiet buzz of the evening faded as he made the call. On the other end, his team answered quickly. "I need you to arrange immediate medical assistance for someone," he said firmly, providing details about Emma's mother. His tone left no room for questions or delay. "Make it happen as soon as possible," he added before ending the call. When Elon returned to the diner, all eyes were on him. The patrons, having picked up on the tension, watched curiously as he walked back to the counter where Emma stood, frozen in uncertainty. He approached her with a calm but determined look and said, "I can't promise everything will be easy, but I can help." Emma's eyes widened as she tried to comprehend what he meant. Elon continued, his voice steady. "Your resilience, your determination to keep going despite everything, that's something rare. I value that. I'd like to offer you a job at Tesla HQ. We can help with your mother's care, and you'll have the opportunity to build something for your future." Emma's jaw dropped, her mind spinning as she tried to process his words. Around her, the diner patrons sat in stunned silence, their meals forgotten as they listened to what was happening. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she stammered, "A job? At Tesla? You're serious?" Elon nodded with a faint smile. "Very serious. People like you make the world better. Let's make sure you get the chance to do that." The entire diner seemed to hold its breath as Emma, overwhelmed with emotion, struggled to find the words to respond. Her life, once filled with uncertainty and hardship, had just taken a turn she never could have imagined. The story fast-forwards to a quiet hospital room where Emma's mother lies comfortably, finally receiving the medical care she desperately needed. Emma sits by her bedside, holding her hand, tears of relief streaming down her face. For the first time in months, she feels a sense of hope, a future that no longer feels out of reach. The scene shifts to Tesla HQ, where Emma walks through the sleek hallways, her nervousness replaced by determination. Under Elon's mentorship, she starts learning the ropes, attending team meetings, brainstorming innovative ideas, and working alongside some of the brightest minds in the world. Bit by bit, her confidence grows as she discovers skills she never knew she had. In a reflective moment, Emma is seen sitting at her desk, staring out of a large window overlooking the city. Her voice, steady and full of emotion, narrates, "I never expected kindness to come from a single note. But sometimes, taking a chance, even when you're scared, can open doors you never imagined." That night, I didn't just meet Elon Musk. I found a path to a better life. The screen transitions to a montage of Emma thriving in her role, contributing to projects that improve lives. In one final shot, she stands proudly with her mother, both smiling brightly, a testament to how far they've come. The scene fades in on the familiar diner, now bustling with life just as it had on that fateful evening. Emma walks through the door, this time dressed confidently in professional attire, a stark contrast to the worn-out apron she once wore. She glances around, memories flooding back as she smiles softly at the familiar faces. Approaching the counter, she notices a young coworker, visibly tired and overwhelmed, much like she had been not so long ago. Emma reaches into her bag and pulls out a neatly folded note. With the same gentle gesture she once made, she places the note on the counter and slides it toward the coworker. The coworker looks at her, confused, but Emma simply says, "Sometimes, all it takes is one moment of courage. Don't give up." Without waiting for a response, she gives a reassuring smile and walks out of the diner, leaving the note behind. As the coworker unfolds it, the screen cuts away, leaving the contents of the note a mystery. The final shot shows Emma walking down the street, her head held high, ready to embrace the future she once thought impossible, while the music swells to a hopeful crescendo.